Welcome back to Canadian Justice, where we're discussing Bill C-11, which regulates online streaming services and which some critics say will actually result in the regulation of user-generated content as well. Now, Jay, the legislation went to Senate, and the Senate had proposed some amendments that would have excluded user-generated content to some degree from regulation. What happened? What did that amendment do, and what happened to it? Because it doesn't look like it's in the bill anymore.
It's not in the bill anymore, and it was a really, really important amendment. And the reason it was put in is because senators, the two senators who crafted the amendment were actually appointed to the chamber by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and they recognized after months of testimony that it was simply not fair or feasible to treat small-time users the same way that you would treat Netflix or Amazon Prime, for example. And so there was a decision made that an amendment needed to be put in to protect small-time users. The government continuously said that they were not interested in regulating user-generated content, and yet the head of the CRTC said that it was scoped into the bill. The government kept saying it wasn't. So to further clarify that, these senators put that amendment in there. And then very tellingly, when it got back to the House, Minister Rodriguez, the Heritage Minister in charge of the bill, rejected the amendment and convinced the House of Commons to take it out. So the very fact that that amendment was put in there to protect user-generated content, and the very fact that then the government turned around and specifically took it out, tells you exactly what you need to know. It tells you the government wants to regulate user-generated content.
Yeah, so Rosa, one of the things that Heritage Minister Rodriguez had said repeatedly was, and it's such a bizarre dichotomy because we have digital content creators saying this is going to regulate us. We have the CRTC saying this is going to regulate digital content creators. And then we have the Heritage Minister and a number of MPs, government MPs saying, oh, like this is a misinformation campaign, attacking professors who specialize in this area who are raising the alarm bell and saying, no, it doesn't apply. If it doesn't apply, why would they reject that amendment?
That's a really great question. One we would like to know the answer to. The government has said repeatedly that they would not regulate user-generated content. And the government is claiming that users aren't directly impacted. Their language has been, platforms are involved or in the bill, users are out, which is true to a degree, but the content of users and their feeds are still up for grabs. So anyone who is indirectly or directly generating revenue could be regulated under this bill. And that could be something as simple as an ad between two TikTok videos. That could count as generating revenue. So there's not really any indication from our government how they plan to, comprehend and understand that type of revenue allocation. And we know that creators are not going to benefit largely from this financially.
So Scott, is the government just kind of essentially saying, just trust us, you're going to be fine, Christine, don't worry. If you're a digital content creator, we're not coming for you. And is that statement, just trust us, where the government, is that good enough for us to rely on? Especially for those people who, for them, digital content creation is their livelihood.
Yeah, it's absolutely not good enough. And one of the things that we've been pushing hard on and letting people understand is there's no other group that would be treated this way. We're not talking about, at least I'm not talking about some individuals uploading their cat videos. And, we've heard cat videos over and over again. Yeah. We made it part of a campaign, which is a lot of fun. But, we're talking about tens of thousands of jobs, hundreds of millions of dollars that are generated, into the economy, a bunch of individual entrepreneurs. We would never treat other businesses in Canada this way with this ambiguous legislation, just saying, just trust us. It goes to a really, really clear, just not knowing what the government not knowing exactly what they're talking about when they keep referencing cat videos. We're talking about the livelihoods of creators, their employees, and the money that they bring in from around the world. So no, legislative protection is a must, especially seeing what the government is saying and them just not grasping what we're talking about.
Jay, about 20 seconds. It's going to go to Parliament. Could it go back to the Senate? Is there a chance that the amendment could be added back in? Just 20 seconds.
Well, it's heading back to the Senate. Whether or not senators are going to make the choice to reject the decision by the House to take it out is an open question. I think there will be debate there, and we should know within the next week or two.
Okay, fascinating thing to watch. We've got to go to commercial break now, but we will continue this conversation when we come back.